Okay, I just did one on the whites only town that Eric is over there doing. Wish you the best, brother. Uh Now we are gonna go into the reactions. And I think this is the first time I'm seeing this, so I don't know exactly who's on it, but I do know that this is uh I guess what people are gonna feel like about this whole situation, right? So let's see what they say.
Relic of the past. Yet here, in 2025, there's a man who believes the future is to separate again. A man building a town where only one race is welcome, on purpose. His name is Eric. Previously, I drove from the heart of Memphis to the back roads of the Ozarks, where black people are not allowed. This is where the road led.
How is having me as a neighbor impacting your culture? You know, you have your house. Maybe I stop by for Thanksgiving, and then you stop over my house for Christmas, and maybe you listen to a little bit of Afro beats and eat some jambalaya rice or whatnot. How does that change or impact or make your culture feel? Why do you feel threatened? Do you feel threatened by us to some degree, us being non-white? Because I've lived in areas where I have white neighbors, and I don't go to their house tell them how to raise their kids or what kind of musical instrument the kids should be playing. Simply having a black neighbor, how does that impact your culture? Or changes anything?
Well, it depends on how many black neighbors you're talking about.
What? Crazy man? This man said it depends on how many black neighbors.
Parked my car, and within just a few minutes, Eric pulled up.
All I'm gonna say is this dude right here is brave. He's brave. He's brave. He is a brave man. Cause soon as I hear white only town, the first thing I'm thinking of is KK, good old boys hanging from a tree. I'm not trying to interview nobody over there.
Before heading into his community, we decided to sit down at a small cafe nearby, just to talk, to feel each other out, and to start the conversation on neutral ground. This was our first moment face to face.
I'm here at a coffee shop, and I am with Eric.
How's it going?
Eric, thank you for coming on such a rainy day. So, talk a little bit more about yourself. You're originally from California, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I lived there until I was 18.
And remember, this guy used to be a porn star.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Yeah. What part of California?
Between LA and Orange County.
Okay. I was stationed in Palm Springs. I mean, 29 Palms. It's up there in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the Marine Corps for a little while, so I love California. But it seems like your experience there was not so positive. Is that correct?
Well, in some respects.
Yes.
Yeah. I noticed a change just over my lifetime in the nature of my neighborhood and town and school. And, I didn't really understand how the area had changed over the previous decades.
Yes.
I would look at my parents' yearbook photos, and everyone looked like them. They looked like me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the people who built up that area.
Right.
Of course, going far back in time, it was owned by Mexico. That is true, but it's been more than 100 years since then. And the people who built the town where I grew up, they were my grandparents and great-grandparents. But over the last several decades, generations, that has changed. And now when I go back there, I don't really feel like I belong. I don't feel like I fit in, both because the demographics have changed and a lot of people don't speak my language. I actually can't communicate with them. And then also a lot of people have come in and boosted the property values. Mm-hmm. So wealthy people from East Asia moved in large numbers. Mm-hmm. And even if I wanted to live there, just in financial terms, I wouldn't be able to afford it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so. But this is very interesting because despite the demographic change, I'm not sure about California, the white population is still the majority of the people living in both California
and California?
I'm not sure 100%.
I don't think so.
No?
It might still be the plurality,
yeah,
but not in the area where I grew up.
Okay. So. But for somebody watching this video, they might feel like you're a white male, how do you sound like a minority complaining about, you know what I mean? Because, you know,
Yeah.
most of the time people who say things like what you're saying are minorities complaining about the fact that, well, I can't adapt, people don't understand me, I'm treated differently because I'm black or yellow, brown, whatever. But it's very interesting coming from someone like you. So I want you to explain maybe some of the things that people like me don't understand necessarily about how you feel.
Well, I mean, I'm concerned for the continuation of the way of life that I knew growing up. I think there are real differences between different groups of people.
Oh, we're just going to stick to coffee, actually. Thank you.
And I would like to see those differences preserved. A lot of it is implicit. It's the way we think and communicate and use body language and the kind of music we tend to like and listen to, the kind of art we use to express ourselves, like all of that. It's not that you are determined by your race to have these certain habits, but there are large continuities in these different groups of people, and I'm comfortable in a group of people that shares my background, that shares the same expectations. You know, if I wanted to simply move somewhere where there were more white people, because there are plenty of places in America, like where we are here,
Right.
where I could do that. But I'm thinking intergenerationally, going down the line, if you look at the overall tendency, you know, white people are a global minority currently. We're 8% or less of the world population. So of all the races, like, there are the fewest white people. And that is not being fixed as time goes on. We're becoming a smaller minority, even in our own homelands. And like with any animal species, if it doesn't have a habitat to itself, if you bring in invasive species that are competing for the same ecological niche, that species is going to die out. You know, it's just a natural part of life. So I want to make sure that who I am, the kind of life that I've known, continues existing in the future.
Okay. Moving on, you went to college, and it sounds like it was in college that you became more aware of the fact that you were more comfortable with people like you, right? So at what point did you decide, and why did you decide to build the type of community that we're going to be visiting next, to return to the land? When did you start thinking, well, this is what I should be doing for my people?
Yeah, I had naturally enjoyed Western classical music and Western philosophy throughout college and before, but I didn't really understand until the first year out of college just how much I was gravitating towards the culture that my people had produced.
Yes.
And at the same time, I was talking about that philosophy and things like that on YouTube, and people in my comment section kept stressing, like, the demographics are changing and the things that you value are not going to exist unless, you know, some kind of change is made. And so when I really studied what are the nature of these changes in the population structure of the Western world, the only solution that I saw was creating communities like this. I don't think large-scale political change is in the cards, not enough. There aren't A, enough white people in America to make that difference, and B, not enough of us actually highly value our racial identity. I think part of that's through conditioning and the way that our education system treats our own heritage. Like, white Western history is kind of downplayed and we're made to be the villains. And we've done things that are wrong, but all groups of people have. We've also done things that are really exceptional and good and have benefited humanity. So, yeah, I basically thought that the only way that I could realistically make a difference would be to create places where our culture can be continued. And I don't think we have to be hostile towards the broader, you know, country. I think that we can get along with different groups of people doing our own thing. There's plenty of space in America. That's how I feel about it.
Why Arkansas?
Well, I really like the state. I moved out here for a little while, like a decade ago, when I was looking for land.
I bet you it got something to do with tax and ownership of land. Come on, bro. Why not New York?
And enjoyed it. I kind of bounced around the country. I lived in Wisconsin, obviously New York as well. I moved to Hawaii for 6 months because I thought I wanted to buy land in Hawaii. That didn't work out, unfortunately. It's also a beautiful place, but Arkansas, there's a certain cultural compatibility where I feel very comfortable here. I like the kind of live and let live atmosphere, so people are not very invasive or busybodies like you sometimes get in more Puritan New England style cultures. Um, Legally speaking, it's easy to develop land out here, and of course, it's also affordable. So,
Yeah.
for a variety of reasons,
Yeah.
and it's just an awesome place to be, I think.
Yeah. All right. So Arkansas allows for the building of this community with a little bit less issues than, let's say, other areas. But how about perception from? Because some people your own race don't agree with what you're doing, building this community here. Have you faced any challenges, like legal challenges, lawsuits, and things like that, as a result of that? Because the United States does have, fair housing laws and civil rights laws. How do you balance that with what you are currently doing here?
Well, we've structured what we're doing in the way that we have in order to comply with all existing laws. So we're trying to do our due diligence. We've consulted with a bunch of different lawyers, and we've not been sued or fined or anything like that yet. There have
And you never will. Do you know why? We don't care.
been requests for information on the part of government departments who are investigating us, but we believe that what we're doing is lawful, and it's just a basic constitutional right, freedom of association. Now, I like to make a distinction between public markets and the private domain. So an intentional community, that's a private community, we're a private club, and we can regulate who comes in and out of our private association. In public real estate markets, like if we were real estate developers selling land, then what we're doing would be illegal. But that's not what we're doing. It's not about selling land. We don't sell land, in fact. We sell shares in our company that holds the land and everything. So we've structured it intentionally so that it's not just about a real estate transaction, it's about membership in a community, which involves a lot more than that. So we think it'll hold up, but we'll see.
Okay. I watched the video. You were currently recently in Idaho. It looked really beautiful over there. I was like, wow. But before we go out to your town, I believe most black people that are going to be watching this video at this point are going to look at you and say, you are racist. How do you take that? Are you racist or not?
Well, it depends on what you mean by racist.
And I knew you're going to say that based on your video, but we have to come to a point where we can define it, right?
Sure.
Racism is basically thinking that one race is superior to another. So
Yeah,
that
that's-
prejudice mixed with the power to do something about it is what creates what we call racism.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have a supremacist view of race. I think there are differences. I think God makes all peoples unique for a reason. He creates the nations for a reason. I think that's part of God's design. That's the design of life. If you take a species and put it in a bunch of different habitats, it's going to, over time, differentiate into new species. Life begets new varieties of life, and I think that's a great thing. That's not a bad thing. So I want to preserve the kind of life that I am, that I enjoy, and I think other types of humanity are also possible and good in their own right. So it's not like I think my type is better and is the only one that should exist. The fact is that like my type of humanity is going extinct, and I don't want to see.
Hey, Donald Trump. DT. And my boy over here say he going extinct, but what's up with that, DT?
That happen. I think that's a natural thing.
Okay, we're going to continue on that further later, but so tell me about this area. When I asked you during our chats, is this a sundown town? Because I was afraid coming here, and many of my friends and family are like, "Oh my God, you're crazy for going over there. What are you thinking
You
about
is.
by yourself?
You
All of
is.
this stuff."
Yeah, you definitely nuts.
Is this area what you didn't say? No, it wasn't. And you didn't say it was. You said it's not a literal.
All right, now let's move fast forward. Let's get to the future. This town is up. It's houses. It's schools. It's motherfucking everything that a town has. This town has, right? You go over there to do a delivery. Fucking UPS, bro. You go to drop off a delivery. The white lady is attracted to you. But you double because you know where the fuck you are. She says you did something to her. You never leave the fucking town. Because they have their own laws and regulations. You're inside their domain. You will never leave that fucking town, bro. Just thought I'd let y'all know that. Soon as because the development of a town now, you want to start out like this, but now you have to develop. You're small now. I'm talking about in the future. You're small now. You're going to have to get you a peace force. And I have to develop that. You're going to have to develop court. You're going to have to develop that. Anything outside of like murder. Because anything murder, you know the U.S. is coming. We don't give a shit. If we find out we coming, we're going to shut your shit down. We're going to call you a cult. You know that's what they do. That's what they've done. But if you set it up the way you trying to right now, where you got to corporatize, now you already did that by corporatizing. Because who ultimately makes the rules and the rules for the town? The landowner. The landowner is the company. The company is going to have its own police. The company is going to have its own doctors. The company is going to have its own laws. The company is going to have all of that. You go over there and she say you touched her ass. What you think gonna happen to your black ass?
So now, I didn't want to push you further on the text. I didn't know what you mean. What do you mean by it's not a literal sundown town?
As in, you're allowed to be there after the sun sets.
Right.
So in a literal sense, that's not what it is.
Right.
Of course, we have restrictions on who can be a member in the community. I mean, you could spend the night there. You could visit for a week if you wanted to.
Safely.
Safely, yeah, that wouldn't be an issue. But
all right, now here we go. Here we go. Now, what he's saying to all my black brothers and sisters, what he's saying is, you're more than welcome to come vacation with us. You want to come up in here and see how the town's doing for Christmas vacay? No problem. But your black ass can't move here. So, let me see. What does it sound like to me? It sounds like, come spend your money, but you can't stay.
you know, you couldn't apply to live there because you don't fit into the identity group that we're trying to preserve.
Right. Is there white supremacist groups in the area, like the Ku Klux Klan or all the other, you know, associations around here?
Not in the immediate area, but in northern Arkansas, yeah, there's a presence.
Are you in contact with them? Do you do interviews with them?
Not really.
What is it?
Not really. Okay, sounds to me like some of those good old boys is gonna be your police.
Difference, because
remember I said it.
When I listen
said
to you
it.
talk, your talking points are very similar to what they stand for. The preservation of the white race, separation, and all of that stuff. How do you differentiate a white supremacist group to what you are doing, for you not to identify as one of them?
Well, so I'm not a supremacist in that I don't think that our race is superior to other races. And I'm also not a white nationalist in that I want the U.S. government to enforce like the well-being specifically of white people. I believe in equality under the law, and typically, like historically, nationalist groups have not believed in that. They want to deport all non-whites, they want to give white people special legal privileges, and I don't think that's fair or just. So
I can see only one group of people really going hard about. Okay, maybe I'm lying. I can see two group of people. Two groups of people. And I can tell you one that is not gonna be the black people. We don't give a shit. We don't. You heard what that man's peoples told him. You crazy as hell for going over there. Haven't you ever heard of sundown towns? Exactly. We are bred to know places where we supposed to go, and we listen. If you come to visit me and you my cousin, right? You come to visit me. You from O Block. When you get here, the first thing I'm gonna tell you is, all right, look, listen, bruh. I understand you rep your shit, You rock your flag and all that, but listen, you can't wear that over there in Cormside because that's a blood neighborhood. They not gonna know that you GD. They not gonna know none of that. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna know you BD. They ain't gonna give a shit about that. All they looking at is the fact that, yo, you actually brought your ass over here repping anything other than blood. You're done. Same difference. I wouldn't tell this dude, yo, you 8 Trade Crip that came to visit me. I would never fucking tell you, yo, yeah, you know, you're not from around here. Yeah, you can go to Brooklyn. You online at broads and whatever the case may be, gangs hollering at you. Because you know that's how y'all do, the young YNs, that's how y'all do. So you come over here and you like, yeah, I'm about to dip out. Where you going, your nephew? Yo, I'm going to go over here to motherfucking, I'm going over to the Viz. What? Say that again. I'm going to the Viz. Okay, listen, bruh, you're not going to the Viz. Because you, my sir, are an 8 Trade gangster crip. You can't go to the Viz. Blicky gang is over there. You gonna go over there and get your ass killed. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? It's the same shit. We tell the same story till when you come over. Like if my peoples come over here and visit me, I'll be like, yo, listen, bro, if you're trying to go to the hood store, because we all know what it is. All right, bet. Put it like this. Over in my area, you rarely gonna find St. Ives. I don't give a fuck what gas station you go to. You're not gonna find that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta go to the hood to get that. You know what I'm saying? So where I live at though is like in the middle. So, like, if I take 4 miles this way, I'm in the hood. I go 3 miles the other way, I'm in the upper echelons, you dig? Where the mayors and the lawyers be at. So, it's like, I know if I go over there, I'm not going to get no goddamn natty daddy from over there. They don't drink that shit. Malt liquors don't be in that store. I got to go down into the hood at their gas station where they sell the roses in the glass tube. See, you're not going to get a glass tube rose over here. They don't sell that shit over here. You see what I'm saying? So, it's like, you know where and where not to go. You know what I'm saying? And if you're very intuitive, you'll know that anyway. You'll know that when you get out there. You know what I'm saying? When you get out the car, you go in the store, you'll look around, you'll be like, all right, wait a minute, this ain't my people's. This is not where I'm supposed to be at. You know what I'm saying? And when we say our people's, we mean identifying. Like, if I hop out, my car, go to the store, and I don't see nobody with a rollie, a baguette, none of that shit on, I know I'm not in the right neighborhood. I know this neighborhood is gonna rob me because they wearing low grade shit. They don't know nothing about money. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I feel like I'll be safe because I got the rollie with the leather band. I walk through, motherfuckers, don't nobody say nothing to me. Everybody looking at me like a, you know what I mean? Like, what the hell is that? You know what I mean? Like, look at this lame over here with the Brooks Brothers suit. All right, yeah. But my cufflinks cost more than both your cell phones. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's perception. You can see it. You can see it. Like, nobody has to, all right, case in point, I'm going to bring it on something else that I deal with, and I'm trying my best to be more helpful in that area, and that's the drug area. I don't care where you go on the planet Earth. If you smoke bud, nobody has to tell you where the bud spot is. If you drink liquor, nobody has to tell you where the ABCs are, where the liquor store is at. You gonna find it, right? This guy right here, I promise you, done bought some pom pom before. You want to buy pom pom, you know you're not buying that right here. But if you want it, that's the bottom line I'm making. If you want it, you gonna get it. You see what I'm saying? So we all know where to go and where not to go.
I'm an identitarian. I believe we have the right to defend our own interests and protect our own people. but I don't think I should be able to ask the government to do that for me. I think we should have a government that's fair and beneficial for all Americans, regardless of their background. That's
Right.
the difference.
Right. Now, and you talk about the preservation of your European ancestry. Have you done the DNA test to figure out
Yeah,
what?
I have.
Okay, what country came up?
Norway, England, and Germany.
Have you had a chance to visit those countries?
No, I've never been to Europe.
You never
Not
been
yet.
to Europe. Okay, so let's say you went to South.
And this is the same problem I have with black people that say stuff like, yo, I want to hold on to my African culture. No, you don't, because you don't know nothing about Africa. You have no clue about Africa. You've been here. You know nothing about Africa. Same thing with this guy. I want to hold on to my European culture, but you know nothing about a European culture. All you know about is what you read. Experience for everybody listening. Experience is your best and only true teacher. Okay? So don't tell me what the hood like if you never been there. Don't tell me what the suburbs like if you ain't never been there. Don't tell me what Hollywood is if you ain't never been to Hollywood. You get what I'm saying? How are you holding on to a culture that you've never even...
Africa. What other country have you had a chance to visit?
I went to Australia at one point. My orchestra in high school went there. So
Okay. Okay, so most white Americans have roots in Europe, like in your case. So you said Norway, England, and Germany. You haven't been to those countries, right?
right.
But yeah, you talk about preservation of European civilization, of
Right.
roots, or culture.
Yeah.
What aspect of that are you trying to preserve? Because to me, so I don't.
All right, now I'm just... y'all know I'll be high as hell, right? Yo, this just hit me. Listen. So this man says he's trying to preserve European culture, right? Because he feels like he's going extinct, right? Somebody tell me something. Am I missing something? Is Europe about to be wiped off the map or something? Am I missing something? Was I not aware that Europe was under attack?
Talk to my black American friends and say you are African Americans, I say they are black Americans. Because, quite frankly, besides the color of our skin, we have very few things in common. Just like I wouldn't say you're.
Ding, ding, ding. We have zero in common other than our skin color to Africa. We don't eat the same food. We definitely don't play to the same religion. Like, I'm now Akume, so I've studying right now. I've not studied. I'm studying, actively studying my culture's religion from where I base from, Nigeria. Nigerian culture and religion. I can't tell you how Nigeria is based off of my religion. I have no idea what Nigeria is like. You know, I can look on YouTube and find out, but in true essence, I don't know that land. So this is why I had a problem when it come to applications or anything, any form, and they ask me to check African American. I'm not gonna check that. Because basically you're basically telling me, unless this is true, basically what you're telling me by checking this box is that I am native to two places. Basically you're saying I have citizenship in Africa and I have citizenship in America, which does not make any logical sense to me. I'm an American. I'm just a black American. All right? You got black Europeans, you got black Chinese. I'm just a black American. That's it. That's it. That's it. Know what I'm saying? I am of African descent. Yes, of course. Whatever. If we gonna go there, we can dig deep in that rabbit hole. We're all African descent. Whatever. But I am a black American. I'm a black man that lives in America. That's it. And black is not my color, because no one is black. If you show me an all the way black man, and I'll show you somebody that done got burnt. Nobody's that dark. I mean, you can find a blue black mug, and he still ain't black. All right? There's the absence of light. You can't have absence of light and have blood running through you. Makes any sense? A little bit? I don't know. But anyway, I'm just saying, this guy wants to hold on to European culture that had never been to Europe. I can't hold on to African culture, and I'm going to preserve my African culture. Somebody from Africa might come through there and be like, yo, bro, this is not how we do this in Africa, bro. What part of the culture are you trying to come? You know what I mean? Like, you...
A European American, I would just say you're an American. Mm-hmm. To me, you're an American. Your ancestors were from Europe, but you're not. What part of European culture are you trying to preserve when you are fully an American?
Yeah, I would say that the United States was founded as an extension of European culture and civilization.
You know, I can take but so much of this shit. I mean, like, you know what? We're getting out of here, people. I'll be right back. I mean, at this point, I'm confused why this dude is talking at this point. But we're going to get back.
As the story continues to gain more traction, several notable figures are speaking out against the whites-only community, including Godfrey, who will make a video response on his Instagram, roasting the founders and their members.
Meanwhile, back at racism headquarters, what the is white culture? That sounds like an oxymoron. White culture. You guys tell me if I'm wrong. Is you coming and murdering all the Native Americans and putting them on reservations and bringing slaves to build your country? Murder, deception, disrespect, denigration. That's what I think white culture is. White culture to me.
I mean, I'm trying to figure out what's the white culture he's looking for, because he's saying he's trying to hold on to the European white culture, but okay, you're not holding on to Europe white culture, because do your math on Europe, y'all. Niggas was free in Europe. Wasn't nobody enslaved in Europe. While they was over here doing what they was doing, we was free over there in Europe.
Would be in Europe. That's what I think. So you would take that bullshit you're talking about back to Europe where the fuck you belong. I hope all you racist white people go way up in those mountains, go way up there, because I think you're originally from the fucking mountains. If you're gonna keep this all white, I want you all to keep it 100. There better not be any taco trucks around there. If you get hungry, stick with your food, which is probably European, which is like, what? Bangers and mash, shepherd's pie, and Wiener Schnitzel and beer. That's all you get. And no fucking black women or Asian women or Latin women. Right.
In addition to his video, Godfrey will also elaborate his point through a caption writing, "There's a group of white people who decided to build a whites-only town in Arkansas. I figured they would have already have white-only towns in a place like Arkansas, so I'm not really surprised." The guy who's explaining it in the video said that they're trying to preserve white culture. What the hell is white American culture? Is it you coming and murdering all the Native Americans and putting them on reservations and bringing in slaves? White culture to me would be in Europe. That's what I think. White American culture is nothing but hatred and separatism. Real American culture would be the natives. If we want to be real, I hope all you racist white people go way up in the mountains if you're gonna keep it all white. I bet not see no taco trucks, no soul food, no Caribbean food, no Asian food, no nothing. Stick with your European food, which is probably angers and mash, shepherd's pie, Wiener Schnitzel, and beer. That's all you get. And you can't listen to any American music because it's all stemmed from black people. And you can't have sex with any of our women. No cheating. I'm just trying to teach you how to be a good racist. Now in his rant, Godfrey will call out the community by trying to define white culture, chalking up to mainly violence and destruction. He would also advise those staying in the whites-only community to keep everything white, including food, music, and entertainment. Some social media users would agree with Godfrey via his Instagram comment.
You better not. I better not see anybody out there watching Power. You better not. You want to be white, be white. Be all the way white. Yeah. Oh, that's my wife calling, y'all. Hold on a minute now. That's my wife. I can't be. Y'all gonna have to wait. My wife calling. God damn it. I'll be back. Hello, dear. How you doing? Alright. Yes, I do. Oh, that's what's up. How she doing? Yo, look at here. All you people out there, this whole white town thing is ridiculous. And if you're not, I beg you, what you waiting on? Go ahead, hit the like, hit the subscribe, become a G like me. Alright? Join the G Nation. And yo, I'm not telling you to try it, I'm telling you to do it. Stay sucker free in this world we live in full of lollipops. And your boy E is out of here.